today's video will be working on some crinkly tissue paper sounds. And then I also have a couple of gift bows that we can kind of go through later. Again, just to create some more crinkling sounds. I was thinking I could even use the tissue paper to wrap something, just to kind of demonstrate wrapping techniques, but I don't know if I will be able to do that considering my hand. I think I would in general, but I just want to really take it easy with my hand. So I might try wrapping a very simple object, but again it would be very simple and straightforward. So I guess we could start just by kind of going through. I have 4 pieces of tissue paper here, and 2 of them are in just this heart pattern. So this could easily be used for Valentine's Day or for an anniversary gift, I suppose. The thing I like about tissue paper is that if you use it carefully and you are very gentle with it so as not to break it, you can use it in place of gift wrap if you want to create kind of a sheer effect against the gift so that it's not quite totally opaque. You can still kind of see through it, but just barely. So that's this pattern. Put that one back. And we'll move on to our light pink. is just a magenta pink upon a light pink background. I just like how airy it is and how it kind of flows. And then we have our last sheet right here. And this is a true magenta pink. Tissue paper is one of those things where you could get it as a gift from someone else, and then you just keep reusing it and reusing it. And if you're careful, you won't need to actually buy any for years. You can kind of just keep recycling it, and it's okay. So, although pink is not really one of my favorite colors, I do like this color scheme together. So I guess one simple thing I could wrap up is my phone. I guess I can wrap up my phone, so I'll use the magenta for that. Place those to the side for now. So it's really simple whenever I wrap something. The way I make sure is I make sure that it'll fit is I go like this. So say this was like a roll of wrapping paper. And then say the phone was like a large box. And you don't want to overcut the wrapping paper. So what I do is you start the box on one thin edge. So you'd place it right here. And you want to kind of allow a little bit of space against the edge, a little bit of room there. So you want to just roll the box so that you can tell how much space you need to cover, and then you can cuddle in that space. So you'll start over here. So you know that this is enough paper to cover this edge. And you'll simply roll it. That's enough paper to cover the back edge. This is enough to cover 3 edges. And that's enough to cover the 4th edge. And I would probably cut about right here, so that you still have about 1 inch of over for your next wrapping. So that's how I would generally wrap something, just to save on paper. You also want to leave enough space at the ends to cover the end of it. So you'd measure out the width, and then you want to make sure that you have enough space at the end. So if my box was this close to the edge, that's going to only be enough to cover like half of this edge. You really want to leave enough space so that it's all covered, okay? So I guess we could. And you know, if you do have a situation where you have, say you already have a cut piece, there's nothing wrong with simply overlapping the corners. And if you are using tissue paper to wrap, again, there's nothing wrong with doubling up on the fabric, the material. So actually I might even go like this if I wanted to really use tissue paper as the wrapper. Maybe start at the edge, kind of pull that down there, make sure it's lined up straight. And you're simply going to secure that edge, and then you'll just kind of roll it. I'm going to keep the wrapping taut. You can just simply continue to roll it. You can pull out the edge a little bit to get it to be a little bit taut there. Now with the end, if you were to just go like this, you'd realize that this edge here is kind of sloppy. If you're going to tape that, it wouldn't look great. So instead, what I would do is first, I would actually fold it. This way you have a neat crease. Like that. So I just folded it. And I created a neat crease. And now we're going to bring it over. And that way it goes neatly right against the back in a nice straight line. Right down the middle. Then if I want to fold my corners, I have two techniques for that, I guess. And the first, you would kind of create a space inside, and then you'd pinch, or you would poke into the middle. It's kind of hard with this technique if you have multiple layers like we do, but I guess it's still doable. Let's just give it a try. Yeah, you can kind of still do it. It's not as neat as I would like, but it's still possible. I need to fold this down. And then you fold this over to create a neat crease. See that? save it in its place. There we go. Okay, so this is my medical tape that I'm using for my broken hand here, and just use a tiny bit of this. You really don't need much. That's probably fine. Now if you really wrap it well, you only should need like 2 pieces of tape to secure it. So you're just going to hold it down and then we'll go horizontally across. I hope no one's trying to text me right now. Okay, there we go. We're going to flip it around. So this is with the first folding technique. And so you create a smooth edge all the way around with one tape. So over here, we still have an opening, so we're going to close that up. This is the second technique, I guess, but it's, you really end up with the same result, but let's just see. First, like, so rather than pushing in from the sides, we're going to push down from the top. And so you push down, you're going to go across, and then you're going to fold in from one side and create a crease. Then you're going to fold in from the other side and make another crease. Now we're going to fold that over a little bit. Now we're going to go up. So we didn't really have a ton of room, but I guess that's okay. Let's see if I can make it a little bit neater, maybe. Okay. So while you're getting your tape, you can just hold it down. I wish this would come out a little bit neater, but it'll do. There we go. So we've just wrapped the cell phone. We've got a very clean edge on this side. We've got clean edge over here, clean edge over here, and here, and here. The only part where we have things showing is the back, and we've done it with 2 pieces of tape. If you are really clever, you could probably do it with 1 piece of tape. Like if you had this edge really long, and you had this edge really long, you could fold them over so that they meet in the center, and then just tape with 1 piece of tape across. But you're kind of wasting paper with that, so obviously you would use clear tape, not medical tape like I did, but I don't know if this is an example of what I would do in a situation where like I didn't have tape. You just use medical tape, I guess. And I don't think it's a big deal because the gift will be facing up anyway. And I really don't think it's a big deal to have white tape. It really doesn't matter. So yeah, here's our gift. It's my phone. It's the gift to myself, I guess. So yeah, right there. Now, if you wanted to place the bow on top, we've got a bow right here. So, usually what I do is, especially if the bow once was sticky, but now it's not anymore. Let me see. Yeah, the cover is definitely off of this. So once upon a time this bow was sticky, but it's not really sticky anymore. So we just fix that by taking a piece of tape. This time you want to be a little bit longer because you're going to be doubling it up. So you're going to take your piece of tape and you're going to go back around. So you're going to take both ends and then flip them. Just make a little circle of tape right there. Okay? Now you're going to take your tape circle and flatten it out. So it was a circle and now it's flat. You're going to put it right in the back of your bow. Like that. And then you just put your bow right in your gift. Now, to put the bow right in the center is a bold move. But if that's what you want to do, then go for it. You can put it in the center, you can put it on the top, and then leave room for to Fred from Mary, or whatever you want to do. To Megan from Megan. So you can put it at the top. Usually I'll do something like that where like I'll put it off center and then I'll do a drawing or I'll write something. But in this case, since it's to myself, I'm just going to look from above and make sure I center it. I'm just going to place it right there. And then rather than like pushing the whole thing down to get the tape to stick, I'll go inside the bow to the bottom where the staple is, and then I'll just push to the side to get the tape to stick, so that way you're not crushing the bow, but like you go inside of it and then you push down. Okay, there you have it. A beautifully wrapped cell phone with 2 pieces of tape. You know, Megan, I just want to thank you for giving me this gift of a cell phone. You're so welcome, Megan. Can't wait to open it up. Might as well do it right now, right? Okay, so this is how I open gifts so that I can secretly recycle the bows for later, because I did not buy these bows. They were given to me by someone else probably, and then I just saved it. So you carefully take off the bow. Well, actually, usually I probably would flip it around back to find the seam, but I guess it depends on the shape of the gift. In this case, it was just too tempting to not take off the bow, and then I'll remove the tape. Well, actually, I'll put this to the side first, to be honest. So then I'll go in the back, and I'll just undo it. I'm going to be careful because I want to save this tissue paper. tissue paper if I can. Good, I didn't rip it. Undo it over here as well. I kind of like how this paper tape is not ripping it. Maybe I will use this, I don't know. Okay, now it's unwrapped. And then since I really want to save this, I'm just going to gently open it, right? Oh my god, it's a cell phone, you guys. Wow, I can't believe it. I'm so overjoyed. Wow. Unbelievable. Okay, now we're just gonna smooth it out. And we'll fold it back up. Just like that. And this is how I usually store tissue paper. I don't just put it in a ball and then throw it into the closet. I'll fold it up and then stack it. Because when you stack it, you can really compress it down. Like that. And it barely takes up any room. But if you were to put it in a big ball and then like put it in a bag or something, it would take up a lot of room. But this way you could probably store it in like a gift box. Like we have a gift box downstairs where there's just like all this tissue paper stacked up inside of it, but it's very compact because it just presses down. Okay. So that's that. That's how I would wrap a gift. And I would just, at the end of everything, carefully take the tape off of my bow, like this. And then we've got a brand new bow to use next time, right? We have two bows. Okay. So we'll just put that here and top it off. So bows, I actually do store bows in a gift bag because you don't want to crush the bows. You want the bows to stay airy, and you need that to allow them enough room so they don't get all crushed. But the tissue paper you can definitely crush and just kind of squish it down. But you can do all kinds of stuff with tissue paper. The other things I like to do when I wrap a gift is like 95% of the time I'll just use like a grocery store bag, like a paper bag, and I'll cut down one seam and then I'll cut around the bottom. So I'm basically cutting off the bottom because you don't need that really. And then if there's handles, you cut off the handles. And then you're just left with one big thing of like brown paper bag. And that's to replicate, the trend or whatever of people wrapping gifts in brown paper. But for me, it's not really trendy. It's just a really cheap way to wrap stuff that costs you nothing. So then I'll use the brown tissue paper, the brown paper bag as my wrapping paper. And it's actually great for a couple reasons. One, it's very durable. And two, you can draw on it. And you can add things that are way more colorful to accent it. So, say in the first situation, you just do it plain and then you're drawing on it. But you can write whatever you want to write on it. You don't need to like worry about buying a certain design. You can just draw your own design if you want. You can draw your own picture, write your own message in whatever fancy or non-fancy way you want to do it. So that always works well. Another option is to just like you could, I don't know, say you took one of these red bows, you could put the bow right in the middle or to the side. So like the red against the plain brown is already a big pop of color. Also what I'll do frequently is I'll just use string, like plain white string, and then I'll tie a little white string bow. You can also paint on paper bags. So like in the past I've like, for Christmas I've painted a snowflake on it. Or you can trace a snowflake. There's just so many options, and it's free. It's free. Like, why would you spend money on buying wrapping paper if you already have some brown paper bags in the closet? I don't know. But, and then you can also accent it with colored ribbons. You know, again, paint, bows, flowers. I've put in the past live flowers on it, like, because you can take the white string and you can go get some wildflowers from outside and just tie it in a little bow. Hey, Wizage. Wanna come on? Wanna come on? Anyway, you can just tie a little bow around the wildflowers, and then you can tie that to the paper bag. So yeah, there's really any number of things you can do. I don't know, I can't really think of any like other holidays coming up where you would do gift giving. I guess Mother's Day and Father's Day, but I don't know. Let me know if you guys are interested at all in a tutorial on wrapping with come on. Here's Osage. Hey, Osage. You wanna join us? No, don't go away. No, stay here. Okay, he's gonna go in my bed. There he goes. I kinda wanna do another video of petting Osage. Hey. I might be able to do it tonight if he gets sleepy. He just loves laying on the soft comforter so much, like he'll sleep all night on my bed and not even get up. I think though when he comes in when he gets over on like the hard table, even though there's a towel on it, he doesn't really like it. But I don't know, maybe he does. Maybe he just needs to be sleepier. I don't know. Anyway, back to my point. Let me know if you guys are interested in a brown paper bag wrapping tutorial, and I might do that in the future. Okay, guys. So yeah, that's all I can think of regarding tissue paper. This video was based on a request, by the way, so I hope you enjoyed it. To the individual who requested it, and I hope everyone else did too. Please always let me know in the comments if you have any requests for future videos, and I'll do my best to incorporate your request to some capacity. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was relaxing and interesting, and maybe it taught you something about wrapping. I don't know. I know it was a really simple technique I used,